over, right? Day 5 of our trip.
Is this day 5?
I don't know. It started out as day 4.
It's over. Are we tired?
We are.
It's only, what, 6:30 or so in the evening, and we just can't wait to get to bed.
And
we are beat. Done like dinner.
I know the video is, the lighting isn't so great because we're in little huts. But we probably feel as good as we look right now.
You look actually not too bad.
Well,
you know, I hope
thanks,
things being
Papa.
equal. Yeah, no, you do.
Thanks, Papa.
I haven't seen a mirror for 6 days. I don't know. I'm afraid to take this toque off.
Look, you can see right there. Take the toque off and then you'll be able to...
No, I couldn't take the toque off.
No, you couldn't do that.
I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow.
So anyway, the day started actually about yesterday at about 11 was the wake-up call. Yesterday about 11 we woke up. At night.
Last night. Yeah.
No, yeah, last night.
Not that it was truly a wake-up call in as much as
We never slept.
we weren't sleeping.
So we probably
haven't been eating.
Haven't slept in probably 2 days.
Yeah, haven't been eating. Just not at our best. But
so we started up to the peak of Kilimanjaro around 12:15.
Yeah, got into 12:15.
In the pitch dark.
Pitch and cold. Michael doesn't think it was all that cold, but I was freezing.
And thank goodness, because when you see the pictures of what we had to climb that we see later on the day, it's we're glad that it was in the middle of the night, or else we wouldn't have done it. We wouldn't have made
so
it.
Intimidated if we could have seen where we were climbing if we climbed in daylight.
And it was no little pass like you've seen before in photos and videos. This was like straight up the side of a mountain, one step in front of the other. Sometimes your feet aren't breaking the toes of the foot in front of you, taking little tiny steps, and it seemed to go on forever, and you just took one step at a time and one step at a time throughout the night, and we reached what was called Gilman's Point. Just
before 6 o'clock.
Yeah, just before sunrise. And so we started to celebrate. A sign said, "Congratulations." We know that it wasn't the peak, but we know the peak isn't that far away from there, and that's when Felix, our trusty guide, who has been just fantastic, points to where the peak actually is. And well, Dad can let you know how he felt about that.
You know, I was really beat at that point, and to know where we had to go to reach the very summit of Kilimanjaro, we had to kind of go around the lip of the crater and keep climbing and climbing and climbing, and it just seemed so far away. And by then the sun was up, and it was bright, and it was a beautiful, beautiful morning. But it took us a bit of a struggle to get there. What, about 2 hours?
Yeah,
it wasn't that long, but it just.
And you kept on thinking that signpost was over the next little ridge, and then you looked up, you got to that ridge, and it wasn't there, and then you just kept on seeming to get further and further away. So there is video of us actually getting to the summit. And we can edit that in here, or maybe later, or something like that. We can do the movie.
And it was really neat because the only two people that were at the summit when Mike and I and our guide Felix got there was a young man from Vernon, along with his guide, and they were just unfurling a Canadian flag to photograph. And so we just joined right in, and we had a real nice visit with him and shot a lot of pictures for him, and he took a lot of pictures of us. And we reached the summit of Kilimanjaro, 19,340 feet, at 7:30.
Yep.
And we stayed 30 minutes there. We stayed until 8 o'clock, and it was starting to warm up a little bit at that point, and we still had on all our gear that we'd hiked up through the night. We didn't shed any of it, and we headed back towards Gilman's Point on the way back down.
And when we got to Gilman's Point, it was due to take our altitude drugs, and my head started to just pound. I felt actually the worst that I felt on the trip.
Yeah,
I haven't been eating in days, but my head gave in on me, and then I asked Dad if his head was the same way, and it was.
It was starting to.
So at Gilman's Point,
but we were really overheated. We still had all our rubber outer gear and whatnot on, and the sun was getting warm, even though it was only at that point, what, about 9:30?
That's right.
I guess, somewhere around there.
So we shed a lot of our gear there at Gilman's Point, and then we got to look over the edge and see what we had.
What we climbed during the night.
What we had tackled between 12:15 and 6 o'clock that morning. and going down wasn't that particularly easy for me. What makes the climb so hard? It's just a bunch of scree or sand, really, actually, and your footing is terrible, and it really puts a pounding on your knees when you're going straight down. On the way up, you're zigzagging back and forth. So I really took my time down. I wanted to get out of here, out of the park on my own steam. So I didn't want to risk blowing out a knee. So Dad finished up back at Kibo Camp, probably about 45 minutes, half an hour prior to me getting there. To which Felix said, you know, let's not sleep here. Let's push on to Harambo.
Rhymes with Colombo.
Well, it doesn't really rhyme with.
But it's, you know.
Sounds similar to.
Harambo Camp.
So
where we had spent that extra night earlier acclimatizing.
So this is actually our third night in the camp.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
And then tomorrow morning we wake up around 6. We're going to push out at 7 and hopefully get up to the park entrance gate around 3:30, 4 o'clock. This is about an 8-hour hike down. So it's going to be another long day. My knees are shot on me, and we're not particularly feeling great.
No, and we can't eat. My stomach is so raw,
and we don't want to give the impression that we're not in awe of what we saw today or what we accomplished, because we are. It's just have energy to reflect. Maybe back over a beer, we can kind of get. We're ready for and reading if it's the altitude or whatnot that really curbs your appetite, but energy is hard to come by, and obviously without sleep it's a hard thing to tackle. So
we are just absolutely just beat.
So that's where we are. We're going to turn in for the night. We're going to push out here. At this point, I don't think Mom back at the hotel or anyone we know knows that we were successful.
Nope,
but they'll soon find out. So we will touch base with you one last time back from Springlands Hotel in Moishi at the end of day 6, on which was an incredible day, one that I'll never forget. The physically hardest thing I've ever done in my life, bar none.
Yeah, without question.
And it was worth every grueling step. It was really quite an amazing trip. So thanks, Pop, for sharing it with me.
Thank you for sharing it with me.
I love you.
It was great. I love you too, son.
So that's it. We'll check in with you tomorrow.
We're just going to crawl into our sleeping bags.
I'm already in my sleeping bag.
Yeah.
So
and get a good 8 hours or so, and then.
In fact, now that I have to go press the button, I can just spin in my sleeping bag.
Yeah, you're gone. Well,
and I'm already there.
Don't forget to turn this off, because I have no idea how it's supposed to.
Oh yeah, we got to turn it off because the battery's going to go on.
I'll just sit here and look pleasant until. Go ahead, do it.
But what are you going to do in the meantime?
I'm just going to look pleasant. Fill the screen. I don't know. I'm too tired.
Take off the toque.
No way. This is coming off.
Come on.
No way. I'm going to wear it all day tomorrow. I'm going to wear it on the bus back to Moishi.
Take it
Not
off
for $1. No. You got a $5?